Reverend Diane is a very spiritual musician and singer, amongst other things. We are blessed that she is our part-time minister and our anchor, and welcome her this morning for our water ceremony. Please come up. Mic drop.
Encore. Thank you, Bill. It's wonderful to see everybody here this morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you, Bill, for being WA this morning, and for Evan and Rose, thank you so much for doing tech, and Hollis for coming all the way back from Vermont to bless us with your piano playing, which we will hear more of later. First of all, my compliments go out to John Kinney for letting me steal his joke. It's a sign of flattery, John. I hope I don't blow it.
You steal from me, you steal twice.
I know there are several cat lovers here, so here's a joke about kittens. There's a man that walked over and he saw a bunch of kittens in a box, and he said to a little boy who was standing next to them, what really cute kittens. And the boy said, yeah, they are Christian kittens. And that about a week later, the man sees the boy again, with the same box of kittens. And once again, he walked over to the boy, and he said, they are just so adorable. And the boy said, yes, they are Unitarian kittens. And the man said, hey, wait a minute. You told me last week that they were Christian before. And the boy looked up at the man, and he said, yes, but now they have their eyes wide open, so they are Unitarians. Sorry. What, John? So this is one of my favorite ceremonies. We don't have many traditions as Unitarians, but we do have the flower ceremony and we do have the water, and I like to call it a communion, or an ingathering, it's sometimes called. The first Unitarian water ceremony or ritual was an important part of the feminist movement inside of our congregation and inside of our Unitarian religion. And it was closely also related to the development of the new principles, the principles that are found in the Gray Hymnal, not the principles that some of you might see on various Unitarian congregations today. In 1975, 50 years ago, Lucille Shuck Longview, a member of a UU parish in Kentucky, served as a UU delegate to the United Nations. And we used to have our delegate to the United Nations that came here every year, Bruce Knotts, but he doesn't visit us every year, but hopefully he will be here in the future. And when she came back, there was an assembly that she went to in Mexico City. She was really, really struck by the sexism that she saw in the meeting and throughout the whole assembly. And when she came home, she vowed she went and really, really, really supported a woman and religion resolution, which was actually passed in 1977 with the General Assembly. And that resolution called for an examination of all the sexism that was inherent in our literature as well as our institution, beginning with the UUA itself. At the time, the UU president, Paul Carnes, put together a committee to work on all the resolutions that were proposed, and all the districts across the country were encouraged to support women in religion and the sexism that was apparent in the UUA and in the Unitarian congregations. And what they first did is they rewrote from the 1961 principle, which said, we believe in the dignity of all mankind. And they failed to address women. So in 1985, the principles were finally changed and were passed by the General Assembly, complete with the inclusion of respect for the interdependent web of existence of all people. Now, the path from her experience from the United Nations to the GA was long and difficult. And in between, there were many, many meetings, many conversations, and many worship services that had profound spiritual explorations of the sought-after transformations. The first water ritual was actually started by Lucille Shuck Longview and her friend, Carolyn McDade. And what they did is they held the first ritual in Michigan. Marcia puts her thumbs up for that one. Should be proud of that. And they talked about the significance of this service, which is actually written up in the Harvard Journal of Unitarian, of our background and our history. And it's written, the water ceremony became the central part of a religious service that broke with tradition in many, many ways. It was created, for example, by lay women, women who had long been silent in the pews, and they also made the space very sacred by the women themselves. And I quote, "We gathered to worship in a way authentic and liberating to us, not as a church in pews, but as in a semicircle around a large common earthen bowl." And it was a ritual of women's being connected by a universal symbol, the symbol of water, a ritual of women being connected to the totality of life. And what started as this feminist tradition has evolved into a welcoming home ceremony for all of us. It really is a way for us to celebrate community and once again return after a brief hiatus from the summer. Hence, in our water ritual, we bring water from the places we live or the places that we may have visited, and we pour it into one container. That bowl, the bowl will be lifted up and the flowers will be replaced in a few minutes. And all the water will be mixed together, and every drop has some of the molecules of water from every place. So if you take a small bottle of that water out, you will have waters from many places in just that one bottle. And each time we have that water ritual year after year, we add to it. And usually what we do is we go out to the peace pole and we have the kids pour the water into the ground. By the way, when this was first introduced, a lot of women would bring perfume bottles. And they would bring the sacred water home with them. We're not going to do that today. But it is really one more way to make tangible the sacredness of water. All life comes from water, and life needs water to survive. And water moves through our whole ecosystem, nurturing and transforming life as it moves. As we saw in the children's video, it rises from the ocean in evaporation, forming clouds in the sky, and it's blown about by the winds, and it returns to the land in the form of rain or snow. And this precipitation falls into the soil and gathers in streams and aquifers. Water also rises up into the stems of plants and the trunks of trees, but none of the water is really isolated from the rest. Even our own bodies are part of that watershed. The water goes back to the air or to the earth and continues in streams and rivers on its way to the ocean. And the cycle just keeps going round and round and round and round. So all the water on earth is really one water, continuously flowing through the biosphere. And even if we get water from our kitchen tap, that water has been around the world on a journey. All water is connected and connects all of life. So today is our Unitarian Universalist in-gathering water communion. When we come together, when we each bring a piece of our authentic selves to the community, we create something far greater than the sum of our parts. For us, I believe this water sparkles with our own energy, of a little bit of each of us, a little bit of each of our own experiences, our history, our stories, our hopes, and our love. It's where the one includes the many, and the many becomes one. And so in a minute, I'm going to have you come up and bring water if you've brought water with you. If you haven't, Reverend Linda has little tiny, you have little water glasses there, Linda, and she can fill some water up for you. Or you can run to the bathroom and get some water from there if you want. But one thing, please remember to share, and we'll have the microphone up in front, the significance of the water that you've brought, and kind of share it in a way that honors the most important aspects, kind of like downplaying others. For example, if you have been summering on a yacht this summer, you might want to say, the water is significant because I had a wonderful time gazing at the ocean together with my family. So kind of frame it in a way that it's important for you. Okay, so we're going to have Hollis is going to play some background music on the piano. And we need a microphone. Okay.
This water is from Linda, but I wish it was the Pacific Ocean, which I lived on for 30 years.
This water is from Blooming Grove, Mike's house, but it reminds me of crossing the ocean to Indonesia this past summer.
So it's a combination of volley and hard scrabble road.
This water represents Tomahawk Lake, where my parents raised us, and it was a beautiful, magical childhood thanks to, in part to the wonderful lake and water.
Second row. Oh,
Water that wishes to remain anonymous.
second row, please come up.
This water is from Anthony's house. It's at the foot of Scunnamunk Mountain. And when I had my own house, he used to carry water over to my house so I could drink fresh water.
This water symbolizes water from the Baltic Sea, where I traveled from Finland down to Poland. Although Poland's not on the Baltic Sea, but the other countries were.
This water is representative of my time on the Amazon rainforest and how we deeply need to preserve our rainforests.
This water is from my swimming pool, which lured me here and saved my life by being able to swim most of the days this summer. Very grateful. And I taught my grandniece to swim in there too, at age of 1.
Second row on this side.
This water is from Algonquin Park and the creek at the other water. I forgot the name of the place.
It's all connected.
Yeah, right. For my new home here in town in Newburgh. Yeah, thanks.
Last year, I took water from here because here is very meaningful for me. That was my first year as a UU member, and here in my second year, I just brought my home, which is my other most important place.
I didn't have anything prepared to say, other than the water keeps us alive, and that's a good thing. So.
This is water from Lake Minnewaska, where I'm really privileged to swim in the summer. You can too, if you test and prove that you can do 20 laps, 20 lengths across the short way and tread water for 3 minutes, and I can help test you.
This cup is empty. It symbolizes places in the world where there is no water, or there's a small amount of water, or there's war and people can't get water. And we have to keep that in mind. And as a nation, I think we should be working to help all those people without water.
Yeah, put it there. Hey, anybody else from the second row? Third row.
My water will symbolize my sweet baby that is growing in the womb right now, and the amniotic fluid that she is comfy in, and to represent the start of all life and our fellow mammals as well.
This water comes from my well. I live in the town of Montgomery. My well is over 300 feet deep, and this water could be 1,000 years old.
Bill, the microphone.
Good morning. This water represents the swimming pool in Woodland Pond where I live, where I got to enjoy my family. They all came to visit early August, and they all swam in the pool together. It was glorious.
This is just tap water from my home in Newburgh that I appreciate every day, and also think of those who do not have water as accessible as I do.
This is water from my brother and sister-in-law's home in Gardner. And as we were walking out of the house, I said, "Oh, water ceremony day," and grabbed it quick. But I got it.
Thanks for the water, Linda. I spend my days 9 to 5 processing all the operation reports for the hundreds of water systems in Orange County. And yeah, I love it. And when I shared here in March about how they moved me from one division to the other, it was the food service side of the health department to the water service. We do all the engineering for water systems, public water systems. And so, yeah. Water has been a theme since I've been with you all. And we went to the planetarium this weekend and watched Elmo and Big Bird travel to the moon. And, you know, they looked back at Earth. And Elmo said, why? No, Elmo and his friend from China, why is the Earth so blue? It's made up of water. Thanks.
This water is coming out of a plastic bottle, which is a tragedy. And I don't know where it came from, nor I know where it's going, because I'm drinking it. And water is incredible. Every time I see the toilets that flush automatically 6 times when they don't need to, I wonder what we're thinking.
This water is for all the plants that are really happy that it's been raining the last couple of days.
This water represents a magical waterfall that is in Highland Mills, about half a mile from where I live. And I just want to thank it for its cleansing and healing. Just sitting in front of that waterfall is so calming. And I don't know if you know this about waterfalls, but they throw off, when water is crashing, it throws off negative ions that are very, very healing, like at a physical level. So if you were ever at a waterfall, just open yourself up to receive its healing.
This water is for 2025 and everyone in 2025 who has been and will be dying of starvation.
This water is from my new reverse osmosis filter that my brother and I installed over the winter. I guess it represents making this place home and doing items to my house that I wouldn't otherwise do because I would be moving in 2 years.
Well, this represents the water from where I live, not a few minutes from here in Brittany Terrace, where we've had some water issues the last couple of years with the wells, and lately and most recent one is a water main break. It's all on the mend. It's costly. Will eventually get done, but water is precious. Anyone else? Yes, and please rise if you're able to.
Thanks, Stephen. From